Welcome to DC2LA. I'm Kevin Palermo. Thanks for tuning back into the show. Great news, guys. Our last show broke DC2LA's viewership record for the 2015-2016 season. Next show, we're aiming for 30 views. Now remember, DC2LA is rooted in fashion and entertainment, so I heard that Ugg boots are back. Anyway, tonight's guest is Mari Buckley. Is she an artist? Is she a villain? All we know is she's a barista at GW's favorite copyright-protected coffee shop. I'll ask her about fun stories from the job, secret coffee recipes, and her opinions on the war on drugs. All that and more tonight on DC2LA. Welcome to the show, everybody. Now let's take a look at some of today's top headlines. On October 26th, the World Health Organization announced that bacon is linked to cancer, prompting me to wonder, I haven't had bacon in a while. In related news, on October 31st, the popular Mexican fast casual restaurant chain Chipotle announced that it had closed 43 of its Pacific Northwest stores due to E. coli outbreaks, prompting me to wonder, I haven't had Chipotle in a while. Halloween brought its fair share of scares with an Oklahoma mayor dressing in a KKK costume. Oh, wait, it was her husband. Oh, it was a girl mayor. Well, that's progressive. Time magazine reported on Tuesday that a corruption official in China was sentenced to 12 years for corruption, with one less corruption official who will find the other corrupted corruption officials. This past Wednesday, Donald Trump tweeted a picture of Jeb Bush next to a swastika. What's next? Telling Ben Carson he can't host SNL? Oh wait. Oh, yeah, he did that. A group of Bernie Sanders advocates took matters into their own pants this past week, printing Bernie's face on a new collection of underwear called Bernie's Briefs. Now, no matter where you go, you can feel the burn. A U.S. soldier was quoted this past week saying, "Fighting ISIS in Syria is no Call of Duty," which is funny because that's always how I pictured war. You know, you play for a few hours, then mom yells dinner, and then you turn off the TV and just come back a little bit later. A Chilean treatment center reported that its patient, an abused alcoholic monkey, finally beat its addiction. And you know, if he can do it, so can you. In response to recent contested elections, Kyrgyz police have been firing on ethnic Uzbeks protesting in Kyrgyzstan, prompting many Americans to say, where is that and who are those people? A Massachusetts goat recently escaped from his enclosure last week, but was found and captured after it stopped to lick the window of a police officer's car. The goat reported saying afterwards, "I was just trying to help the pigs trapped in the car." But A fight at a high school was recently broken up by a D.C. police officer who challenged the teens to a nay-nay dance-off. Unfortunately, this tactic was less successful 2 days later after the officer attempted to distract a carjacker on Connecticut Avenue with the Dougie. Police are now searching for a beige Seneca. All right, it's time to take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more of today's top stories.
The George Washington University, at the intersection of policy, practice, and research, connecting all that Washington has to offer with an intellectual environment that drives progress, transforming vision into action, offering learning experiences that are rigorous, real-time, and real-world. In a city shaping the future, George Washington is a place where faculty and students don't just study the world, they work to change it.
Welcome back to DC2LA. I'm your host, Kevin Palermo. GW's basketball season is kicking it into high gear with the Colonials opener on November 7th against Gannon University. Let's cut to our correspondent, Andrew Carlander, who's got all the scoops on the upcoming season.
Thank you, Kevin. We're outside the Smith Center with one of GW's all-star basketball players here. We're tremendously honored to have you here, and we just want to ask you a few questions to sort of get to know the basketball side here at GW more. All right, so we'll start with a very broad question right now. Let's see. Is ball really life?
Yeah, for some people it is.
For some people, all right. So where do you fall in that?
I would say depending on the day it is.
Okay, very cool, very cool. I like it. Let's see. Now, a lot of people in sports tend to be superstitious. Are you superstitious, or do you have any like pregame ritual kind of things?
Yeah, there are a couple things that I like to do to just make sure I get in my zone for the game.
Awesome. Do you have any like specifics you want to share with the audience?
Just make sure I have all of my gear together. It's kind of top secret.
Okay, I got you. No, I respect that completely. We'll move on here. Let's see. What's your vertical? How high can you jump?
25 inches.
Wow, 25 inches. That's incredible. Can you dunk?
Yeah.
Okay, that's truly admirable. You seem like a fantastic athlete. Look, I am super stoked that you're here right now. I'm a huge fan of GW basketball and you. I have a GW tie back in my room, and I'm super happy you're here right now. Listen, do you want to play me like basketball? Do you want to give me some pointers while I play? Shoot around a bit, stuff like that?
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure.
Oh, fantastic. This is awesome. You guys are going to see us playing some basketball firsthand here, all right? Let's get to it. Snap, dude, that was incredible. I'm so amped right now. Let's see here. I want you to be completely honest with me, all right? Look, I don't even like this TV gig here. I don't see my future in this. I think basketball for me is in the future. You just saw that, all right? Be honest with me. Do you think I have what it takes to walk on the GW D1 team next year?
Yes, you're better than I am, but I'm on the club team, right?
Wait, what?
I'm on the club team.
You're on the club team.
Yeah, the club team.
You're not on the D1 team.
No, I'm not a D1 player.
Then what was this for? What do we do this for? Are you serious? Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. We're going to be right back with today's guest, Mari Buckley. So stay tuned, Colonials.
I believe. I believe that. I believe that we. I believe that we will win.
Welcome back to DC2LA. With me now is a face you've probably seen at the local coffee joint on campus, barista Mari Buckley. Hey Mari, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
So, do you want to give me just a typical rundown of your day at work?
Well, typically I come in, I clock in, I put on an apron, and then I black out. And all of a sudden I'm done with my shift.
Great. It's just like it's a blur after a certain point. You just can't even remember.
Oh yeah, as soon as I tie my apron on, I lose all consciousness. I become one with the coffee.
Nice. Is there like any drink order you get a lot? Is there like, I always wonder, because my drink when I go is a white chocolate mocha. Does that kind of say anything to you? Do you make any like judgments about people?
Certain times I do. Like, if someone orders a Frappuccino, like regularly, it kind of sends off, maybe a red flag, but, white chocolate mocha, they like something really sweet, I guess. I don't know. Black coffee is, I don't know, someone very serious.
So you're saying that when you hear my order, you just think, what a weak person.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
It's fine.
I'm not going to
this
deny
is a safe
that.
space.
Okay.
If you can say whatever you want.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay. What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you at work?
Ooh. I don't know if I can say.
Because it's so secret, or because there's so much to choose from?
A little bit of both.
All right. We're going to get into something a little more serious. 400 million. What does that number mean to you?
Oh, it's the population of the United States.
Look, in the U.S. alone, around 400 million cups of coffee are consumed every day. And the American Psychiatric Association now lists caffeine addiction as an actual diagnosis. So my question for you is, how do you sleep at night knowing how hard it is for all of your customers to sleep at night?
I don't sleep at night because of caffeine.
That was a more witty retort than I was prepared for. Well played. Speaking of violent drug addictions, 3 of the top coffee-producing countries in the world are Colombia, Honduras, and Guatemala. And these countries also have some of the highest murder rates in the world. So what would you say to the millions of people that have been killed to support your job as a barista?
Thank you?
What?
No.
That is the most heartless thing I have ever heard. Thank you, murder victims, for my job at, I think we're not saying the name of the place that you work at for copyright protection purposes. Sorry, I just noticed, we wanted to do this at top of the show, but, you know, typically when a guest comes on a talk show, you know, they bring the host something, you know, a gift, you know, some gesture of goodwill. What did you bring?
Well, normally when I interview on shows, I have like a nice dressing room with a basket of, you know, snacks and stuff, but I didn't have that this time either, so. I guess we were both a little disappointed.
Now look, PSL is all the craze now that we are getting ready for Thanksgiving season. You know, everyone getting really psyched about PSL. What do you think about PSL?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
PSL. Yeah.
What's that? What's a PSL?
Pumpkin spice latte.
I'm sorry, I guess we don't not at our store.
Okay. Well, we are going to move on to a quick game. Now, you are a barista, right?
Alleged.
We're going to do a quick little spelling bee. I'm going to give you a few names, and I'm going to ask you to spell them on this cup.
All right.
All right? This is a test of your most important skill.
Okay.
All right. Start with my name, Kevin. Pretty easy one. Okay, you wrote Austin, which is, you know, shares part of one syllable, but it's not even like you spelled my name wrong. It's just a completely different name.
Okay, did you get your coffee?
Sort of. I got an empty cup with another person's name on it. Okay, let's keep going. All right. Jim. Okay, they're only they're 3 letters. All right. King Louis the 16th. I don't know how you got to that one, but okay. Let's try this one. Haley. Okay, now you wrote Kevin. Are you on like a delay or? Okay, let's try this. This is your name. Okay, your name, Mari. It's your name. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure how this one got on the list. This one's actually hard, but Sigurdur. some sort of Scandinavian country. It's not very common. And that is correct. Okay, well, thank you for being with us, Mari. Good luck with your barista adventures, and thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back.
Wonderful academic institution with a fine athletic tradition.
Patricio Garino throws it down with two hands.
Wonderful city. It's a great place to go to school.
Keith and Savage open down the right side. Will go and Duncan with his right hand.
Not just the family, it's the whole community.
Armwood Duncan with 1.9 seconds left. Armwood, a thunder slam. 81-80 George Washington. A huge victory for the Colonials.
Welcome back to DC2LA. Now, Thanksgiving is just around the corner. Although most students will be going home for the holidays, it doesn't mean they can't cook their favorite Thanksgiving-inspired recipes in their dorm rooms. Let's cut to correspondent Dylan Williams, who has the scoop.
Hey Kevin, thanks for the shout out. Now, it's obviously Thanksgiving season, and I know I love some family recipes, so I'm going to show you some today. My grandma was always the homemaker growing up, making my dad and his brothers all the good food. This Thanksgiving, I'm going to teach you how to make her...
Tell me everything. I watched the hockey, though I see.
Just what Mommy ordered. So excited. Okay, now that it's done cooking, put it in the freezer. But not before you add a ginger snap crumble. Yum. Not in the freezer, because I already took it out. Right here is my grandma's favorite. It is so good. Some people say, that smells terrible, and I think I'm gonna be sick. They obviously don't know quality cooking. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Dig in. I'm not eating that. Oh.
Thanks, Dylan. Our final story tonight is this.
Oh, do you see the ball? Do you like the ball? Okay, watch this. I'm putting the ball. Where did it go? Where's the ball? Do you see it? Where'd the ball go? Oh no. There it is! I found it! Here it is! Yay! Okay, let me see it. Alright, you see the ball? Where did it go? Where is it? Where's the ball? There it is!
That's a video of a baby. What's going on there is that infants have no concept of object permanence. When a ball disappears from view, they assume it ceases to exist. Now, to be clear, our top headline tonight is not, Mother gives child existential crisis just for funsies. Instead, we're talking about the increasing perception that colleges are becoming politically correct havens where students are coddled and sheltered from the problems of the real world. Because when we talk about political correctness at colleges, it almost feels like they think that college students haven't developed object permanence yet. That we're putting things like sexism and racism under a pillow so that we can assume that they don't exist. It's a common mentality amongst, sorry, I'm trying to think of the politically correct term, old people, that college students have sheltered themselves into ignorance and are failing to grow up. Ironically, this itself is a fairly infantilizing mentality. And in failing to treat us like self-aware, essentially competent human beings, they've distorted their own realities to reassure themselves that they don't have to change. This conversation hit a high point a few weeks ago when Jerry Seinfeld went on Colin Cowherd's ESPN show and complained about how college students try to enforce political correctness, saying, quote, "They just want to use these words. That's racist, that's sexist, that's prejudice. They don't even know what they're talking about." Okay, sure, I'll take that point. Our generation does love calling things racist and sexist and prejudiced. It's up there with bottomless mimosas and pretending that Taylor Swift is a relatable human being. But then again, a lot of things are racist and sexist and prejudiced. And look, I can understand Seinfeld's frustration. I've been doing stand-up for 3 years, which isn't much, but I've had people call out my jokes for being offensive. It's not a nice feeling. It's frustrating. But then that frustration can lead to a mentality where it's actually a good thing to offend people. Because political correctness is seen as a bad thing, we rush to the other extreme and champion offensiveness as if it's bravery. That's a scary road to go down, and it leads right to the door of President Trump. By the way, let me be clear about the Trump thing. Donald Trump is not some politically incorrect anti-hero. He's a racist. His appeal, his entire political strategy is tapping into the darkest impulse of society's lowest common denominator and legitimizing them. That's like if I ran around being like, honestly, I kind of like Vanilla Ice, and 26% of Republicans wanted me to be the president. People call Donald Trump politically incorrect. But in this context, politically incorrect is just the politically correct way of saying bigot. The obsession over what words and phrases are okay may seem like an annoying trifle to old people. But millennials, yes, millennials, with our tweet books and snaptograms, understand that words mean something. It's not just about avoiding offensiveness, it's about looking inward at our own inadvertent prejudices and making sure that future generations don't grow up with the same bad preconceptions that we did. That's our show for tonight. But before we go, let's take a look back at some of the camera transitions we experienced together. Well, that's it for us. Good night, GW, and watch your back. I know I will. Wait, guys, that's kind of threatening. Thought we talked about this. It's arguably worse than the last one we had. Like, at best, it's overly cautious.